My beloved child, can you feel the gentle weight of my hand upon your shoulder? I have seen the way you have been holding your breath, waiting for the other shoe to drop, waiting for the waves to finally pull you under. I have watched you toss and turn in the quiet hours of the night when the world is silent, but your mind is screaming with the lists of things left undone and the bills that remain unpaid. I know the rhythm of your heart when it races in fear, and I have counted every single tear that has soaked into your pillow when you thought no one was looking. But I am here. I have always been here. Reach out your hand in the darkness, and you will find mine already there, waiting to clasp yours with a strength that will never fail. I am not a God who stands at a distance, observing your struggles with cold indifference or judging the moments when your faith wavers under the pressure of life. I am the Father who walks into the fire with you, the shepherd who carries you through the valley of the shadow when your own legs can no longer support the weight of your journey. You have been carrying the weight of the world on your fragile shoulders, trying to solve problems that were never meant for you to carry alone. You worry about the empty cupboards, the tightening in your chest when you look at the future, and the nagging sense of loneliness that suggests you are forgotten. But how could I forget the one I carved into the palms of my hands? Hear my voice now, cutting through the static of your anxieties and reaching into the deepest, most hidden chambers of your soul where the winds have been howling for so long. Peace, be still. I am speaking these words not just to the circumstances around you, but to the spirit within you. The storm that has been raging, this season of lack, this trial of health, this fractured relationship, it is not your end. It is merely the backdrop for the magnificent miracle I am currently weaving together in the secret places of my providence. You see only the tangled threads on the back of the tapestry, the knots and the frayed edges that look like chaos. But I am the master weaver, and from my perspective, I am creating a masterpiece of restoration. I am moving pieces you cannot see and opening doors that no human power can shut. Even now, in this very moment as you read these words, I am dispatching my angels to clear the path before you. That mountain of debt that keeps you awake, it will crumble into the sea. That wall of isolation that makes you feel invisible, I am tearing it down with my own hands to bring you into a community of love. You are not alone, and you have never been alone. I was there in your darkest hour, whispering hope when you couldn't hear it, and I am here now as the light begins to break through the heavy clouds. The season of struggle is coming to an end. Can you feel the shift in the spiritual atmosphere? Can you hear the sound of the wind changing direction? I am breathing new life into your dead dreams and restoring what the locusts of time and grief have eaten. Do not let your heart be troubled, and do not be afraid. I have already overcome the world, and because I live, you shall live also, and live abundantly. There is a peace I give that the world cannot understand, a stillness that remains unshaken even when the thunder rolls and the lightning strikes. Wrap yourself in that peace today. Let it settle deep into your bones and calm the trembling of your spirit. Trust that I have already walked into your tomorrow, and I have already provided for every need you will encounter there. The storm is passing, my child. The clouds are beginning to part, and the sun of my righteousness is rising with healing in its wings. Stay close to me. Rest in the shadow of my wings. Your miracle is not just a distant possibility. It is already at the threshold of your life, knocking on the door of your heart. Open the door and let my unconditional love wash away every trace of fear. You are my pride, my joy, and my beloved, and I will never, ever let you go. The struggle you are facing today is the last gasp of a defeated enemy trying to convince you that I have failed you. But I never fail. Hold on just a little longer, for the dawn is here, and with it comes a joy that no one can take from you. I am your refuge. I am your strength. I am your very present help in times of trouble. Breathe. Just breathe and know that I am God and I am yours. Every resource of heaven is at my disposal, and I am pouring them out upon you because of the great love I have for you. The rain is stopping, the birds are beginning to sing, and a new day is dawning in your life right now. Believe it, receive it, and walk in the confidence of my grace. I love you with an everlasting love, and my peace is your inheritance. 8958. Look out upon the horizon of your soul, for the gray that once dominated your view is surrendering to the softest hues of amber and gold. I am moving in the quiet spaces of your home, in those corners where you have felt most alone. I see the chair where you sit and wonder if the weight of your burdens will ever lift. I see the way you have stared at the empty spaces in your life, whether it be an empty seat, a quiet phone, or a bank account that feels too small for the mountains you have to climb. Listen to my voice. The scarcity you see with your eyes is an illusion compared to the abundance I am preparing to pour out. I am the God of the overflow. I am the architect of your restoration. The blueprints for your future were drawn with the ink of my grace long before you took your first breath, and not a single line has been blurred by the storms you have endured. You feel as though you have lost time, as though the years have been eaten by the locusts of stress and sorrow, but I am the Redeemer of time. I am folding the years of your struggle into a single moment of breakthrough that will make the past seem like a fading dream. Think of the garden that waits beneath the winter snow. Though the surface is frozen and silent, life is pulsing deep within the soil. That is what I am doing in you. In the silence of this passing storm, I am strengthening your roots. I am making you unshakable, so that when the harvest comes, and it is coming, you will have the character and the capacity to hold the blessing without it breaking you. Do not be afraid of the stillness that follows the thunder. Many mistake the silence for my absence, but the silence is actually the sound of my focused work. I am fine-tuning the details of your breakthrough. I am moving hearts you haven't even met yet to act in your favor. I am opening doors in high places that you didn't even know existed. When you walk through them, you will realize that every delay was a divine protection, and every no you received was a yes to something far greater. I remember the nights you cried out to me when the house was dark and everyone else was asleep. I bottled those tears, not one was wasted. They are the seeds of the joy you are about to reap. I see the specific worry that keeps you up, the health of your loved one, the uncertainty of your career, the nagging feeling that you have missed your purpose. I am whispering to those specific fears right now, peace, be still. I am the great physician, and my healing transcends what any report can say. I am the great provider, and I own the cattle on 1,000 hills. Your needs are not a puzzle to me, they are a settled matter. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, and I have already authored the final chapter of this trial. It does not end in defeat. It ends in a victory that will leave you breathless with gratitude. Feel the tension leaving your shoulders. Let the tightness in your chest dissolve. I am the air in your lungs and the rhythm of your heart. I am more intimate with you than your own thoughts. When you feel the familiar tug of anxiety trying to pull you back into the whirlwind, remember that you are anchored in me. An anchor does not stop the waves from moving, but it stops the ship from being lost. You are secure. You are hidden in the cleft of the rock. I want you to start looking for the small signals of my favor throughout your day. A kind word from a stranger, an unexpected moment of beauty, a sudden clarity of mind. These are my love letters to you, reminding you that I am right here. I am teaching you a new way to walk, not by the sight of the shadows, but by the light of my presence. The path beneath your feet is becoming firm again. The mud that made you slip is drying up. You are moving onto solid ground, and you will find that you have a new strength in your step. You are not the same person who entered this storm. You are stronger, wiser, and more beautiful because you have learned to trust me in the dark. Our bond has been forged in the fire and nothing can break it. I am leaning down to whisper to your heart, the worst is behind you. The transition is happening. Even as you read these words, the atmosphere around you is shifting. The heavy cloak of heaviness is being replaced by a garment of praise. You will laugh again. You will dance again. You will look back at this season and see that I was never closer to you than when you felt you were at your breaking point. I held you together when you thought you were falling apart. I carried you when your own legs failed. Now I am setting you on your feet to witness the display of my power in your life. Stay in this posture of receiving. Don't rush ahead into tomorrow's what-ifs. Stay here with me in the I am. I am your peace. I am your joy. I am your everything. Let the warmth of my love penetrate the places that have grown cold from disappointment. I am thawing your heart. I am rekindling your hope. I am more than enough for whatever lies ahead, and because I am with you, you are more than enough too. We are walking out of the clouds together, and the light is magnificent. Can you feel the tension leaving your shoulders? That weight you have been carrying, the one you thought was just a part of who you are, is sliding away like a garment that no longer fits. I want you to take a deep breath, inhale the stillness of this moment. I am in the breath. I am in the oxygen that fills your lungs and the blood that courses through your veins. You have spent so long in a state of fight or flight that your body has forgotten how to simply be. But I am teaching you a new rhythm. It is the rhythm of grace, a steady beat that does not falter when the news is bad or the bank account is low. I have seen the way you have stared at the ceiling in the middle of the night, calculating, worrying, trying to solve puzzles with missing pieces. I have seen the tears you wiped away quickly before anyone else walked into the room. I was there in the silence of your car when you felt the weight of the world, and I was there in the kitchen when you felt so overwhelmed by the mundane tasks of life that you just wanted to disappear. None of it was lost on me. Every sigh was a prayer I heard. Every moment of exhaustion was a call for my strength. Look around you now. Notice the small things. The way the light catches the dust motes in the air, the sound of the wind in the trees, the quiet pulse of life that continues despite the chaos you have endured. I am in those small things. I am inviting you to stop looking for the grand spectacle and start finding me in the whispers. The storm did not come to destroy you. It came to clear the path. It washed away the structures you built on sand, the friendships that were not for your highest good, the habits that kept you small, the false identities you wore to please others. It felt like loss, I know. It felt like everything was being stripped away. But I was only removing the clutter so I could show you the masterpiece I have been painting in your soul. You are not empty, you are finally open. You are not broken, you are finally soft. I am pouring my love into those cracks, and like gold in a repaired vessel, those scars will become the most beautiful parts of you. People will look at you and wonder why you do not smell like the smoke of the fire you just walked through. They will wonder how you can have such a deep, unshakable peace when the world around you is still spinning. You will tell them it is because you have found the eye of the storm. You have found the place where I dwell. Think of the things you have been holding onto so tightly, the outcomes you have been trying to force, the people you have been trying to change. Release them into my hands. My hands are larger than yours, my reach is longer, and my love is deeper. As you let go, feel the lightness that enters your spirit. This is the freedom I have promised you. It is not a freedom from trouble, but a freedom within it. I am making your life a sanctuary. Even the ordinary rooms of your house are becoming holy ground. When you wash the dishes, I am there. When you walk to your mailbox, I am there. There is no secular and sacred divide anymore, there is only us. I am reweaving the tapestry of your days. Those threads of gray and black that you thought ruined the pattern. Look closer. See how they provide the depth and the contrast that make the gold and white threads shine even brighter. Without the shadow, the light would have no definition. You are learning to appreciate the nuances of my work. I am also healing your physical frame. the exhaustion that has settled into your bones. I am replacing it with a supernatural vitality. I am renewing your youth like the eagle S. You will find that you have energy for the things that matter and a divine no for the things that do not. I am teaching you to protect your peace as the precious treasure it is. You do not have to attend every argument you are invited to. You do not have to carry the burdens of people who refuse to pick up their own. I am giving you a holy discernment. You are entering a season of suddenlies. Suddenly, the door that was bolted shut will swing wide. Suddenly, the provision that seemed delayed will arrive at your doorstep. Suddenly, the clarity you have been seeking will settle over your mind like a morning mist lifting to reveal a clear horizon. But do not focus on the suddenlies so much that you miss the steadiness. My steadiness is your anchor. I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. My love for you does not fluctuate based on your performance or your mood. Even when you are doubting, even when you are forgetful, I am madly in love with you. I am your biggest advocate. I am the one who stands up for you when you are being falsely accused. I am your vindicator. You do not have to defend yourself anymore. Let me be your shield. Let me be your rear guard. We are moving into a space of wide-open beauty. The narrow, cramped corridors of the past are behind us. There is room to breathe here. There is room to grow. There is room to fail and get back up without shame. I am removing the shoulds and musts that have been barking at you like angry dogs. Listen to my voice instead. My voice is like a gentle rain on parched earth. It is the sound of home. You are coming home to yourself, and you are coming home to me. We are just beginning this new chapter. There is so much I want to show you, so many secrets I want to share with you in the quiet of the morning. Don't worry about how long the peace will last. Don't wait for the other shoe to drop. There is no other shoe. There is only my hand holding yours, and I will never let go. The storm has not just passed, it has served its purpose. It has prepared the soil for a harvest you never dreamed possible. Think of the dreams you tucked away in a drawer because they were too painful to look at when the storm was at its peak. I am asking you to open that drawer. I am breathing life into those dry bones. Some of those dreams were for a different season, and it is okay to let them go. But others are seeds that I planted myself, and they are about to sprout. I am giving you a new vision for your future, one that is not colored by the trauma of your past. I am healing your memory. The things that used to make you flinch will now only make you marvel at my grace. I am rewriting your story from a tragedy to a triumph, and you are the protagonist who finally realizes they were never alone. I am also working in the lives of those you love. I know the names you whisper in your prayers when you do not have the strength to say anything else. I am moving in their hearts too. I am the God of the household, the God of the generation. My promises extend to your children and your children's children. You do not have to carry the weight of their salvation or their happiness. That is my job. Your job is to stay in the light and let it reflect off you onto them. I am teaching you how to love without clutching, how to give without depleting yourself, and how to receive without guilt. This is the maturity of the soul. You are growing up into the fullness of who I created you to be. There is a sweetness in this transition that you could not have appreciated before the bitterness. You are tasting the goodness of the land. I am bringing you to a place of rest where the grass is green and the waters are still. This is not a temporary vacation. This is your new dwelling place. You are learning to abide. Abiding is not about doing, it is about being connected. Like a branch to a vine, everything you need flows from me to you naturally. You do not have to strain for it. You do not have to perform. You just have to stay attached. As we walk further out of the shadows, you will notice that your perspective has shifted. You see people differently now. You see their pain instead of just their provocation. You see the potential instead of just the problems. This is my heart beating in your chest. We are becoming one in a way that is beyond words. The silence between us is no longer empty. It is full of understanding. It is the silence of two friends who do not need to speak to know what the other is thinking. I am smiling at you. Can you feel the warmth of that smile? It is brighter than the sun and softer than the moonlight. It is the light that will guide you through the rest of this journey. We are not rushing. We are savoring every step. Every moment is a gift, and I am the giver who never runs out of surprises. Stay in this peace. Let it saturate every cell of your body. Let it quiet every racing thought. Peace, be still, was not just for the waves on the Galilee. It was for the waves in your soul, and they are obeying. They are settling. They are becoming as smooth as glass, reflecting the glory of the heavens above. You are at peace because I am peace, and I am here. Look around your room now. See how the dust motes dance in the shaft of light coming through the window. Even the most ordinary things are beginning to glow with a different intensity, aren't they? That worn wooden table where you have spent so many hours worrying over bills and schedules, touch it. Feel the grain of the wood. It has stood firm while you trembled, and now I want you to see it as a place of communion, not a place of stress. When you sit there tomorrow morning with your coffee, I will be sitting there too. The steam rising from your cup is a prayer in itself, a quiet incense of being present. We aren't just talking about a spiritual concept. We are talking about your life, the very fabric of your Tuesday afternoons and your Friday nights. The storm that raged within you for so long was loud, and it convinced you that the world was a jagged, dangerous place. But as the clouds part, you are discovering that the foundation was never shaken. You were always on the rock, even when the spray of the waves blinded you to it. Think of the person who has been the hardest for you to forgive. In the old way of seeing, their name brought a tightening in your chest, a reflex of self-protection. But now, in this stillness, I am showing you the child inside them that was never held, the wounds they are trying to bandage with anger. You don't have to fix them, and you certainly don't have to let them hurt you again, but you can see them. That is the gift of the peace I give. It grants you the luxury of sight. You no longer have to squint through the fog of your own pain to see the reality of others. This is how we walk together into the marketplace, into the office, into the crowded grocery store. You are becoming a carrier of this atmosphere. People will look at you and wonder why the frantic pace of the world doesn't seem to stick to your skin. They will sense the still in you, and it will act as a mirror to the storm in them, inviting them to lay down their oars just as you have. Do you remember the nights when sleep was a battleground? When you would lie awake, replaying every mistake and choreographing every potential disaster? I was there then, too, though you couldn't hear me over the thunder. Now, as the rain slows to a gentle rhythm on the roof, listen to the cadence of your own breathing. It is the rhythm of life I breathed into you at the beginning. You don't have to work for the next breath. It is given. Everything you truly need is like that breath, provided, rhythmic, and constant. The anxiety about the future is just a ghost that evaporates in the heat of my presence. I have already been to your tomorrow. I have walked through its challenges and prepared its joys. There is nothing there that can undo the work we are doing here, in this holy now. Even the chores that used to feel like burdens, the laundry, the dishes, the emails, can you see them now as movements in a slow dance? There is no rush. When you move from a place of peace, you move with an efficiency that the world cannot understand because you aren't wasting energy fighting against the current. You are flowing with me. I am teaching you to recognize the subtle shifts in the atmosphere. When the world tries to throw a new storm your way, a harsh word, a sudden change in plans, a disappointment, you will feel it coming, but it will not enter you. It will break against the perimeter of this peace like waves against a lighthouse. You are the lighthouse, and the light in the tower is my spirit. We are deepening the roots today. Think of a great oak tree. Above ground it may look still, but beneath the soil there is a magnificent, silent reaching. Its roots are winding around stones, drinking from deep, hidden springs, anchoring itself so firmly that no wind can topple it. That is what is happening in your soul right now. We are going deep. We are bypassing the surface-level emotions and anchoring your identity in the truth of who I say you are. You are not your productivity. You are not your reputation. Your mind is no longer a cage, it is a garden. And I am the gardener walking with you in the cool of the day, pointing out the new growth that survived the frost. Can you see the small, green shoots of hope? They are fragile, yes, but they are resilient. They are the evidence that the winter of your soul is over. The air is different now. It is charged with the scent of ozone and wet earth, the smell of things being made new. I want you to practice this stillness as we go about the rest of your day. When the phone rings, take a breath before you answer. In that 1 second, find the still place again. When you walk from one room to another, imagine you are walking on water that has turned to glass. Each step is supported. Each moment is held. We are building a memory of this peace so that it becomes your default setting. The world will try to pull you back into the chaos, but you will find that you no longer have a taste for it. The drama that used to sustain you now feels exhausting. The noise that used to fill your silence now feels intrusive. You are being refined. This is the quiet work of the spirit, the slow turning of the tide. The storm is not just passing. It is being transformed into the very water that will nourish your future. Nothing is wasted. Not one tear, not one night of fear, not one moment of confusion. I am gathering it all and making it part of the story of how you learn to trust me. We are just beginning to explore the depths of this intimacy. There are rooms in your heart we haven't even opened yet, beautiful places that have been locked away for your protection. Now that the peace has arrived, it is safe to unlock them. We will go there together slowly, with great tenderness. You are safe. You are loved. You are finally, truly at rest. Watch the morning light catch the steam from your cup today. Do you see how it curls and fades, effortless in its movement? This is how your spirit is learning to move, without the frantic pushing, without the desperate need to be seen or understood. In this new stillness, even the most mundane objects take on a holy weight. That heavy ceramic mug in your hands is a testament to your presence in the physical world, a grounding point where my grace meets your humanity. As you sit there, I want you to look at the shadows on the wall. They are not enemies anymore. They are merely the evidence that light is shining somewhere nearby. You used to fear the dark corners of your life, thinking they were places where I could not follow. But now, you see that the light and the dark are both my canvas. The storm has cleared the air so thoroughly that you can finally see the horizon of your own potential, a vast expanse that doesn't feel daunting anymore, but rather like an invitation. Let us walk toward that first door I mentioned. It's a door made of ancient oak, weathered but sturdy. Behind it lies your capacity for wonder. You locked this one yourself many years ago when the first great disappointment bit into your heart. You thought that by stopping yourself from hoping, you were protecting yourself from hurting. But protection bought at the price of wonder is a hollow victory. Today, I am turning the key. I am not asking you to be naive, but to be expectant. Hear the click of the tumblers. That is the sound of your spirit reclaiming its right to be delighted. As we step inside, notice the colors. They are more vivid than you remember. There are plans here that we drafted together before you were even born, dreams of a life that isn't just about survival, but about a flourishing that feels like a song. You might feel a slight ache in your chest as we look around. That is simply your heart expanding to fit its original size. It has been constricted for so long that the stretch feels like a bruise, but I promise, it is a healing pain. It is the sensation of life returning to a limb that had fallen asleep. Think back to the waves that were crashing against your boat just a short time ago. In the heat of the gale, you thought the water would swallow you, but look at it now. The sea is a mirror. It reflects the sky, And because you are on the water, you are surrounded by the heavens on all sides. This is the secret of the storm. It provides the very depth needed to reflect the heights. Without the water, there would be no reflection. Without the struggle, there would be no depth for my peace to settle into. You are becoming a person of deep waters. People will look at you and wonder why you aren't shaking. They will see the same circumstances that used to break you, and they will see you standing, quiet and unshakable. You won't have to explain it with many words. Your presence will be the sermon. Your calm will be the invitation. You are learning that my peace, be still, was never just a command for the weather. It was a promise for your identity. You are no longer the one who is tossed. You are the one who is anchored. When you walk through the grocery store later today, or when you find yourself caught in the trivial friction of a conversation that would have once sparked your anger, notice the delay. There is a holy gap now between the stimulus and your response. In that gap, I am there. We are sitting together in a garden of silence while the world rushes by. You might see someone's face, a stranger's face, lined with the same worry you used to carry. Instead of being triggered by their anxiety, you will find a sudden, cool spring of compassion bubbling up. You will realize you have enough peace to share. You don't have to hoard it. It is like the manna in the desert. There is a fresh supply every morning, specifically calibrated for the heat of the day. You don't need to worry about tomorrow's storms because you have discovered the one who walks on the waves. Even if the clouds gather again, and they might, they will never look the same to you. You have seen the sun through the rift. You have felt the hand that steadies the helm. You are no longer a victim of the elements. You are a citizen of a kingdom that cannot be shaken. Reach out your hand and touch the wall of this inner room. It feels warm, doesn't it? That is the warmth of my constant regard. I have never looked away from you. Even when you were screaming into the wind, thinking I was sleeping at the back of the boat, I was weaving the very fibers of your endurance. I was making sure the boat wouldn't break, even when it creaked and groaned under the pressure. Every struggle was a lesson in buoyancy. Every fear was an opportunity to feel the grip of my hand. We are building a history of faithfulness. This isn't just a fleeting feeling of relief. It is the construction of a sanctuary. You are the temple, and the Spirit is taking up permanent residence in the places that used to be filled with ghosts. The ghosts are gone now. The echoes of past failures are being drowned out by the steady, rhythmic heartbeat of my love for you. Listen. Can you hear it? It is the only rhythm that matters. It is the beat that the universe dances to. And now, your life is finally in sync with it. Think of the people who knew you before. They will notice the change in the cadence of your speech. You used to speak to fill the gaps, to prevent the silence from becoming awkward or revealing. Now, you speak from the silence. Your words have more weight because they are born in the stillness. When you listen to a friend's problems, you are no longer frantically searching for a solution to fix them so that you can feel comfortable again. Instead, you are a harbor where they can dock their own battered ships for a while. You provide the space for them to breathe because you have finally found your own breath. This is the ministry of presence. It is the most powerful thing you can offer. You are becoming a living reminder that the storm does not have the final word. Look at your hands again. They are the same hands that trembled in the dark, but now they are the hands that will plant seeds in the mud left behind by the rain. The soil is rich now. The very thing that threatened to wash you away has deposited the nutrients for your greatest season of growth. We are standing on the threshold of a new way of being. Take my hand. Let's take the next step together, into the quiet, into the light, into the deep. As we walk, notice how the air smells of crushed mint and wet stone, the scent of a world made new. You used to fear the saturation of your life, the way the rain seemed to soak into everything until you felt heavy and waterlogged. But look now. That very moisture is what allows the moss to cushion your path. Remember that wooden chair you used to sit in, the one by the window where you watched the clouds gather with such dread? I was there, sitting in the shadow beside you, counting the times your heart skipped a beat. I saw you gripping the armrests until your knuckles turned white, trying to hold your world together by sheer force of will. You thought the storm was a punishment for something you hadn't even done, or perhaps for all the things you felt you hadn't done well enough. But it was never about retribution. It was about renovation. Think of the way you've started to move through your kitchen lately. You're no longer rushing to the next task before the current one is finished. When you boil the kettle, you actually hear the whistle. When you pour the water, you see the steam rise like an ancient incense. This is the sacredness of the ordinary that the storm has revealed. You used to look at your calendar and see a battlefield. Now you see a garden that needs tending, yes, but one that also offers shade. Let's talk about that specific fear you had, the one about being found out as someone who didn't have it all figured out. That fear was a ghost, a remnant of the wind that rattled your shutters. In this stillness, you can see that no one has it figured out, and that is the beauty of our walk. You are finally comfortable with the not knowing. When the neighbor stopped you at the mailbox yesterday and asked how you were, for the first time in years, you didn't offer a rehearsed list of your busyness. You simply smiled and said, "I am well," and you meant it. You didn't feel the need to justify your existence with a tally of your chores. That, my child, is a miracle. It is a greater miracle than the parting of any sea. It is the parting of the clouds over your own identity. Do you remember the old blue bicycle you had as a child? The one with the rusted bell? I remember the day you fell on the gravel path and scraped your knee. You tried so hard not to cry because you thought being brave meant being silent in your pain. I was the one who nudged your mother to come out the door at that exact moment. I have always been the nudge, the whisper, the sudden warmth on your back. And just as I was there for the small stumbles, I have been the anchor for the great collapses. The storm that just passed, the one that felt like it would tear the roots of your soul out of the earth, was the last time you will ever have to face the wind alone. From now on, the wind will be at your back, not in your face. We are walking toward the edge of the woods now, where the trees open up into the meadow of your purpose. You've spent so much energy trying to survive that you've forgotten how to thrive, but the memory is returning. It's in the way you've started to hum to yourself again, a melody you haven't used since you were 7. It's in the way you look at the sunset not as the end of a hard day, but as the beginning of a holy rest. I am teaching you a new vocabulary. The words urgent and frantic are being replaced by intentional and peaceful. Even your body is beginning to believe it. The tension in your shoulders, the knot that has lived in the small of your back for a decade, it is beginning to dissolve into the light. You are learning that you do not have to carry the sky. I am the sky. You are simply the bird flying through me. Let us pause here for a moment by the stream. The water is high from the rains, but it is clear, not muddy. See your reflection. You look different. The lines around your eyes aren't from worry anymore. They are the tracks where grace has traveled. You used to see flaws where I saw features. You used to see a project that was never finished, while I saw a masterpiece in progress. Do you see the way the light catches the ripples? That is how my joy reflects off the quieted surface of your life. When you go back into the world tomorrow, into the office with the hum of the fluorescent lights, or into the grocery store with its bright aisles and hurried people, you will carry this stream within you. You will be a portable sanctuary. People will see you, and without knowing why, they will feel their own heartbeats slow down. They will see the way you handle a difficult email or a sharp word from a stranger, and they will wonder where you found such a fortress. You won't have to say a word. Your presence will be the sermon. You are becoming a vessel of the very peace that once felt so out of reach. Remember the night you stood on the porch and yelled into the rain, asking why the darkness wouldn't end. I wasn't offended by your anger. I was holding you in it. I was the floorboards beneath your feet. I was the very air that carried your voice. I knew then that the morning was coming even when you couldn't imagine it. And now here it is. The light is golden, the color of honey and old gold, and it is washing over everything you thought was lost. Nothing was lost, my love. It was only being washed clean. Every tear you shed acted as a solvent for the scales on your eyes. Now you see. Now you breathe. Now you are. Let's walk a little further, toward the place where the lilies grow. They don't toil, you know. They don't spin. And yet, look at them. They are more beautiful than any king in all his glory. And you are more precious to me than 1,000 meadows of lilies. You are the reason I spoke the light into existence in the first place. Come, let us look at the quiet corners of your day. See the way the sun catches the dust motes in your hallway. Those aren't just particles. They are dancers in a theater of grace. I want you to look at your hands, the ones that gripped the steering wheel so tightly when the news first broke, the ones that covered your face in the bathroom stall when you thought you couldn't take another minute of the meeting. Those hands are soft now. They are open. They are becoming instruments of the very quietude you once begged for. I remember the afternoon you sat in your car in the parking lot of the grocery store, the rain drumming a frantic rhythm on the roof. You didn't get out. You just sat there, watching the wipers struggle against the deluge, and you felt like you were drowning on dry land. You felt small, discarded, a flickering wick about to go out, but I was in the passenger seat. I was the warmth of the heater blowing against your ankles. I was the song that came on the radio just as you reached for the ignition to give up. I am the god of the parking lots as much as the god of the mountain tops. Do you remember the wooden table in your grandmother's kitchen? The smell of flour and old cedar? There was a simplicity there that you've spent years trying to reconstruct with furniture and accolades and perfectly curated lives. But that simplicity was never in the objects. It was in the way you let yourself be a child. I am calling that child back out of the shadows. The storm made you grow up too fast, made you build walls of granite and steel to protect the soft parts of your soul. But the storm is passing, and the walls are beginning to crumble, not to leave you exposed, but to let the garden grow. The world will still be loud. Your phone will still buzz with the demands of 1,000 voices that think they own your time. But I am teaching you the holy no. I am teaching you the power of the pause. When you are standing in line today and the person behind you is huffing with impatience and the cashier is flustered, I want you to breathe me in. I want you to feel the soles of your feet connecting with the floor. You are a lightning rod of peace. You take the static of the room and you ground it into the earth. You don't have to fix their frustration. You only have to remain. Think of the river. It doesn't fight the rocks in its path. It simply flows around them, polishing them over centuries until they are smooth and beautiful. You have been fighting the rocks, my love. You have been trying to shatter the obstacles with the force of your will. But now, you are learning the way of the water. You are learning that softness is stronger than iron. You are learning that the quietest whisper can be heard over the loudest shout if the heart is listening. Do you feel that flutter in your chest? That's not anxiety anymore. That's the wings of hope beginning to dry out after the rain. Don't be afraid to trust it. I know you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. You've lived so long in the waiting for the worst that the best feels like a trap. But I am not a trap. I am a wide-open field. I am the horizon that never ends. The storm didn't come because I was angry. The storm came because the atmosphere was changing, and sometimes the only way to clear the air is to let the wind blow through. Now, look at your reflection in the window. You see the tired lines around your eyes, but I see the light that is shining through the cracks. Those lines are the map of where we've been together. They are beautiful to me. Every sleepless night spent pacing the floor was a night I walked beside you. Every hour you spent wondering if you were enough was an hour I spent whispering that you were more than enough. You were my delight. Let's talk about the dreams you tucked away in the back of the drawer, the ones you thought were too fragile for the wind. Bring them out. The air is safe now. The atmosphere is heavy with the scent of ozone and new growth. It is time to plant again. Not because you have to produce, but because you were made to create. You were made to participate in the unfolding of the world. Even when the clouds return, and they will, for seasons must turn, you will not be shaken. Because you have learned that the center of the storm is where I sit. And you have learned that you belong in that center with me. We are weaving a new garment for you, made of sturdiness and joy. It's not a heavy armor, it's a light cloak, woven from the threads of your endurance and my faithfulness. Can you feel the shift in the temperature? The chill of the night is gone. The dew is sparkling on the grass like a million fallen stars. I want you to walk barefoot through it. I want you to feel the cold, wet reality of this moment. This is not a dream. This is your life, and it is being restored to you, piece by piece, breath by breath. I am restoring the years that the locusts ate, not by giving you back the time, but by giving you a depth of soul that time could never buy. Stay here with me a while longer. There is no rush. The world can wait. The emails can wait. The laundry and the bills and the expectations of 1,000 people can wait. Right now, there is only the sound of the wind in the trees and the rhythm of our breathing. You are learning to be still. And in that stillness, you are finding the power that moves the stars. It was never in the striving. It was always in the surrender. Look at the way your hands have softened their grip on the steering wheel of your life. You used to drive with such white-knuckled intensity, terrified that if you missed one turn, the whole journey would be a failure. But I am the way, and there are no wrong turns when you are traveling with me. Even the detours were part of the scenery. Even the breakdowns were opportunities for us to sit together on the shoulder of the road and watch the sunset. You are beginning to realize that the destination isn't a place you arrive at. It's a state of being you carry within. You are becoming a person who knows how to rest in the middle of a movement. Like a bird resting on a branch that is swaying in the wind, you are singing because you know your wings are strong and my hand is holding the branch. Lean into the weight of my presence. It is not a burden. It is the gravity of love that keeps you from drifting away in the gales of opinion and expectation. Remember the morning you sat on the edge of the bed, head in your hands, wondering how you would face the stack of paperwork and the echoes of that argument. I was the silence that cushioned your mind. I was the strength that helped you stand up, one vertebra at a time. I am in the details, my love, in the way the steam rises from your coffee, in the rhythm of your blink, in the very molecules of the air that fill your lungs. We are not just visiting this peace, we are making our home here. This is the new normal. And in this new normal, you are finding that the old triggers have lost their spark. Do you remember the Tuesday morning last month when the car wouldn't start and the rain was coming down in gray sheets? Usually, that would have been the catalyst for a day of ruin, a symphony of sighs and muttered frustrations. But I watched you, my love, as you leaned your forehead against the cool glass of the window. You didn't fight the delay, you invited it in. You made a second cup of tea and watched the way the steam curled into the air, a miniature prayer rising from your hands. In that moment, you weren't a victim of circumstance. You were a student of the stillness. I was there in the silence of the engine and the rhythm of the rain. I am teaching you that your worth is not a product of your productivity. You are not a machine designed for output. You are a garden designed for growth. The storm had to come to wash away the artificial structures you had built around your identity, the towers of doing and the fortresses of knowing. Now, in the cleared space, we are planting something eternal. Look at the way you handle the small frictions now. When the phone rings with news that would have once sent you into a tailspin, notice how you breathe first. That breath is where I live. It is the holy pause, the sanctuary between the event and the reaction. You are realizing that you don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You are finding that your silence is not a sign of weakness, but a reservoir of strength. I see the way you look at the stack of bills on the corner of the desk. In the old days, they were giants meant to crush you. Now, they are simply papers, and I am the provider who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. Do you feel the shift? It is the transition from being an orphan who has to scrap for every crumb to being a child of the king who knows the storehouse is always full. The storm is passing, and it has left the air sweet and heavy with the scent of possibility. Even the memory of that argument that kept you awake for nights has lost its jagged edges. You've stopped replaying the tape, haven't you? You've realized that my forgiveness is a river that washes away the past, and to keep revisiting it is to try and swim upstream against the current of my grace. Just flow with me. There is a specific kind of beauty in the way you are aging into this piece. It shows in the corners of your eyes and the softness of your voice. You are becoming a person people want to sit near, not because you have the answers, but because you have the atmosphere. You carry a climate within you now, a microclimate of the kingdom. When the world is parched and screaming, you are a cool breeze. Remember the afternoon in the park when you watched the toddler fall and get back up, laughing. You used to be the person who worried about the scrape on the knee. Now you are the person who celebrates the resilience of the spirit. I am doing that in you. Every time you fell during the storm, I was the ground that met you, and I was the strength that helped you rise. We are building a history of trust, stitch by stitch, like a quilt that will cover you in the winters to come. This piece is not a fragile thing that can be broken by a loud noise or a bad day. It is a deep-sea piece, where the pressure is immense but the internal environment is perfectly balanced. The surface may be choppy, the winds of opinion may howl, and the waves of expectation may crash, but down here, where we are, it is calm. It is a sanctuary of the heart. I am even in the way you handle your loneliness. It used to be a void you tried to fill with noise, with scrolling, with the constant hum of distraction. Now it has become a solitude, a hallowed ground where we meet without interruption. You are learning to like your own company because you are discovering that you are never truly alone. I am the shadow that protects you from the heat and the light that guides you through the dark. Do not worry if you still feel a tremor now and then. A bell still rings for a moment after it has been struck. The echoes of the storm will fade, but the music of the stillness is just beginning to find its melody. You are learning the song of the redeemed, the one that doesn't need a choir to be powerful. It is the song of "It is well." Think of the people I have placed in your path recently, the ones who seem to be drawn to your quietness. They are thirsty, and you are becoming a well. You don't have to do anything but stay open, stay connected to the source. I am the water, you are the vessel, and as long as you stay under the flow of my presence, you will never run dry. The storm is passing, but the lessons of the wind remain. You know now that you can survive the gale. You know now that I am closer than your next heartbeat. So let's walk a little further into this light. There are corners of your soul we haven't explored yet, rooms filled with gifts I've been saving for this very season of calm. You are safe. You are loved. You are home. And the best part is, my dear one, we are just beginning to see what this piece can do. Look at how your hands have stopped their frantic search for a distraction. In the quiet of this morning, notice the way the steam rises from your cup, a small incense of the ordinary. You used to rush through these moments, your mind already 3 miles down the road, tripping over anxieties that had not even been born yet. But now you are here. You are present. Can you feel the shift? It is in the way you breathe, deep, rhythmic, no longer the shallow gasps of someone drowning in a sea of what-ifs. We are standing in the wreckage of your old fears, and look, flowers are already beginning to push through the debris. You thought the storm came to destroy you, but it only came to clear the path. It blew away the deadwood of expectations that were not yours to carry. It washed away the dust of 1,000 performative smiles. What is left is the real you, the one I have known since before the stars were sparked into existence. Let us walk toward that old garden gate in the back of your mind, the one you changed shut years ago when the world told you that your joy was too loud or your questions were too heavy. I have the key, and it has always been in the shape of a promise that nothing is ever truly lost. As we step through, notice the light here. It is not the harsh, blinding glare of the spotlight you once chased. It is the soft, golden amber of a late afternoon, the kind of light that makes everything look forgiven. Do you remember that specific afternoon, years ago, when you sat on the porch and felt a sudden, inexplicable ache for something you could not name? You thought it was loneliness, but it was me, calling you home to this very moment. I was planting the seeds of this peace even then in the middle of your confusion. Think of the woman you spoke to yesterday, the one whose eyes held a flicker of the same exhaustion you used to wear like a second skin. You did not give her a sermon, you gave her your stillness. You listened without looking at your watch. You offered a smile that did not ask for anything in return. That, my child, is the ministry of the quieted soul. You are becoming a sanctuary without even trying. This is what it means to be a well. People will come to you not because you have all the answers, but because you have found the one who is the answer. The storm has taught you that your foundation is not made of your own strength, but of my faithfulness. And my faithfulness is a bedrock that no hurricane can move. Let us go deeper now. I want to show you the library of your tears. Do not be afraid. These are not volumes of sorrow anymore. They are records of my proximity. Every drop you shed was caught. Every sob was echoed in my own heart. Look at the shelves. See how the light catches the glass jars. Each one is a testament to a time when you thought you would not make it, and yet here you are. You are stronger not because you fought harder, but because you finally let go. You let the wind carry you until you landed in my arms. Do you feel that slight pressure in your chest? It is not anxiety. It is the expansion of your capacity to love. I am stretching the walls of your heart to make room for a joy that does not depend on your circumstances. We are moving past the peace that makes sense and into the peace that surpasses understanding. It is a quiet revolution. While the world screams for attention, you are finding power in your refusal to be hurried. Notice the small things today. The way the sun traces a pattern on the rug, the sound of the wind in the pines that no longer sounds like a threat, but a lullaby. These are my love letters to you, written in the language of the physical world. I want you to start looking for the hidden treasures I have tucked into your daily routine. There is a grace waiting for you in the middle of the laundry pile, a revelation hidden in the grocery list, a miracle resting in the silence between your words. You are learning to live from the inside out. The external world will always have its seasons of turbulence, but you carry the eye of the storm within you now. You carry the Christ who sleeps through the gale because he knows who holds the waves. You are safe. You are so very safe. There is a room we are approaching now, a room filled with the colors you forgot you loved. It is the place of your creative spirit, the part of you that was hushed by the noise of survival. I want to wake that part of you up. I want to see you play again, to see you create for the sheer joy of it with no need for approval or profit. This peace is not just for resting, it is for blooming. It is for becoming the full expression of the masterpiece I intended you to be. Stay close to me. Let the rhythm of my heart become the metronome for your life. There is so much more I want to show you, so many more layers of this stillness to peel back. We are not in a hurry. We have all of eternity to explore the heights and depths of this love. For now, just lean your head back and listen to the silence. It is not empty, is it? It is full. It is heavy with the weight of my glory, a weight that does not crush but anchors. You are finally learning that you do not have to earn this. It was always yours. You just had to wait for the storm to pass so you could see the inheritance that was waiting for you in the clearing. Let us walk a little further. There is a bridge ahead, spanning a river of memories you have been afraid to cross. But look, I am already on the bridge, holding out my hand. Let us cross it together. There is nothing on the other side that can harm you, only more of my grace waiting to be discovered in the places you thought were barren. You are discovering that my grace is not just a safety net for your falls, but a wind for your wings. Even the parts of your story that felt like wasted years are being repurposed. Nothing is lost in my kingdom. The droughts made your roots grow deep. The fires cleared the path for new growth. The floods washed away the silt that was covering the gold. Every season was necessary, though I know some were agonizing. But look at you now. You carry the wisdom of the ages in your quiet gaze. You carry the resonance of one who has been through the fire and come out smelling not of smoke, but of incense. When you walk into a room now, you change the atmosphere, not by what you say, but by the frequency of the peace you carry. You are a living bridge between heaven and earth. Stay in this flow. Do not reach for the old armor. You do not need it here. Your vulnerability is your greatest strength now, because it allows my power to be seen in its purest form. We are coming to a grove of ancient trees, their branches heavy with fruit you have not tasted yet. This is the fruit of the Spirit in its ripest form, patience that does not feel like waiting, kindness that flows like a natural spring, a self-control that is actually just a total surrender to my will. Take a bite. Taste and see that I am good. This goodness is not a theory anymore. It is the very air you breathe. I want you to think about the people you used to fear, the ones whose opinions were the bars of your cage. Look at them now through my eyes. They are not giants, they are wounded children just as you were. And as you heal, you become a map for their own journey home. Your peace is infectious. It is a holy contagion. You do not have to fix them, you just have to stay in this light. The light will do the work. It always does. The storm is far behind us now, a mere smudge on the horizon. The sky above is a shade of blue you have never quite noticed before, the color of a promise kept. Let us sit here for a moment, under the shade of these promises. I want to tell you secrets about your future, not the what and the when, but the who you are becoming. You are becoming a beacon, not a flashing, frantic warning light, but a steady, rhythmic pulse that says, this is the way, there is rest here. And as we sit, feel the ground beneath you. It is firm, it is certain, it is me. You are no longer drifting. You are anchored in the deep, and the deep is calling to the deep within you. There are oceans of my love we have not even dipped our toes into yet. Shall we go further?